Let me share something with you that might just change the way you approach everything in life. You don't attract what you want, you attract what you are. Now I know, that might sound a little harsh at first, but it's true. Desire alone doesn't bring success. Wanting more money won't make you wealthy. Hoping for love won't bring the right person into your life. Because life responds, not to what you wish for, but to who you've become. If your results aren't changing, it's not because your dreams are too big, it's because your habits are too small. It's not because the world is unfair. It's because you haven't yet aligned your character with your vision. And that's what this message is all about. How do you become the kind of person who naturally attracts the life you've been chasing? Because let me tell you, when you become more, you attract more. When you grow in discipline, you attract opportunity. When you raise your standards, you raise your results. When you change your energy, you change your influence. So don't go anywhere. Because over the next few minutes, we're going to walk through the real reasons people stay stuck. And more importantly, how to break free by becoming the kind of person success can't ignore. Let's get started. The mirror principle. Life reflects back who you've become. Let me begin with a simple but powerful truth. Life is a mirror. It reflects not what you want, but who you are. And just like a regular mirror shows you your face, life shows you your habits, your choices, your values. You see, every result in your life is a reflection. Your income reflects the value you've brought to the marketplace. Your relationships reflect the energy and standards you bring to them. Your health reflects your routines and self-discipline. Your peace of mind reflects the thoughts you consistently think. If you don't like what you see, don't break the mirror. Don't blame the world, the economy, your boss, your partner. That won't change a thing. Instead, improve the reflection. Work on the person in the mirror. Now, some people say they want more. They want more money. They want better relationships. They want more time, more peace, more success. And that's fine. But here's the key. You don't get more by wanting more. You get more by becoming more. That's the law. Success doesn't respond to wishes. It responds to personal growth. You can't cheat this principle. You can't skip the mirror and expect a masterpiece. The outer world is always a reflection of the inner world. If you want to change your results, start with yourself. Now, here's the good news. You don't have to change everything overnight. You don't need a personality transplant. You just need to begin. Start where you are. Start with one area, one habit, one decision. Wake up a little earlier. Read a few more pages. Speak a little kinder. Work a little harder. Clean up one part of your life. The smallest adjustments in the mirror begin to shape the biggest results. But remember, the mirror will always tell the truth. It won't flatter you. It won't lie to make you feel better. It simply reflects what's there. And that's a gift, because when you know what's there, you can begin to change it. You can shape it. You can improve it. You attract who you are. So if you want to attract better things, become a better person. Not perfect, just better. Improve your mindset, and you'll attract better opportunities. Improve your character, and you'll attract better relationships. Improve your habits, and you'll attract better outcomes. It starts with responsibility. The moment you stop blaming the mirror and start improving the reflection, you take back your power. Life is not happening to you. It's responding to you. It's mirroring your identity, not your intentions. So here's the final thought. If you want more, don't chase more. Become more. Raise the standard. Build the discipline. Shape the person. Because once the reflection changes, the results will follow. Every time. Wanting more versus becoming more? Everybody wants more time, more money, more freedom, more love, more success, and that's okay. Desire is powerful. It's the starting point, but desire alone is not enough, because wanting more doesn't make it yours. Becoming more does. Let me tell you something I learned early in my life. You don't get paid for wanting, you get paid for value. You don't get opportunities because you hope for them. You get them because you prepared for them. You don't attract success because you need it. You attract it because you earned it. Now, there's nothing wrong with dreaming big, but dreams without discipline are just wishes. And wishes don't change your life. What changes your life is when you stop saying, I want more, and you start asking, who do I need to become in order to receive more? That's the shift. If you want more income, become more valuable to the marketplace. If you want better relationships, become a better communicator. If you want greater peace, become more disciplined with your mind. The results will never exceed the identity. You cannot rise above who you are on the inside. That's why becoming must always come before getting. People spend so much time chasing the outcome, but the outcome is a mirror. It reflects who you are. So don't chase the result. Build the person. The results will catch up. Ask yourself, what habits do I need to upgrade? What beliefs do I need to challenge? What disciplines do I need to adopt? That's the real work, not the wishing, the becoming. Now here's something interesting. The moment you focus on becoming, life gets better. You feel stronger. You build momentum. You stop waiting and start creating. You stop hoping and start doing. And eventually what you once chased begins to show up. Not because you forced it, but because you attracted it. You grew into it. And here's the part most people miss. The goal isn't just to have more. The real goal is to deserve more. Because when you deserve it, you can sustain it. You can enjoy it. You can repeat it. You can teach it. But if you get more than you've become, it won't last. Money without wisdom disappears. Love without character fades. Success without foundation collapses. So the challenge today is simple. Don't just want more. Work on becoming more. Don't just wish for a better life. Build yourself into the kind of person who creates one. Because in the end, life doesn't respond to what you want. It responds to who you are. And the good news is, you can always become more than you were yesterday. Raise your standards, raise your life. If you want to change your life, you don't start with your goals. You start with your standards. Because here's the truth. You don't get what you wish for. You don't even get what you work for. You get what you tolerate. Your life right now is a reflection of the standards you've accepted. And until you raise them, nothing changes. Now let me ask you something. What are you tolerating in your life that you shouldn't be? Mediocre effort, toxic relationships, low energy, poor habits, missed opportunities. Whatever you tolerate, you reinforce. And whatever you reinforce becomes your normal. But here's the beauty of it. You can upgrade your life by upgrading what you expect from yourself. Raise the standard, and you raise the result. If you raise your standard for your health, your diet will change. If you raise your standard for your time, your schedule will change. If you raise your standard for your finances, your income will eventually reflect that. Not overnight, but in time, because your standard sets the baseline. The baseline for what you allow and for what you no longer accept. You see, goals are what you want. Standards are what you require. And when something becomes a requirement, you find a way to make it real. It's like saying, this is who I am now. This is how I live. This is what I accept. Now listen closely. Raising your standards doesn't mean becoming perfect. It doesn't mean putting yourself under pressure to do everything right. It means you draw a line in the sand and say, I don't live like that anymore. I don't miss workouts anymore. I don't waste time the way I used to. I don't surround myself with people who pull me backward. You stop negotiating with your weaknesses. You stop making excuses, and you stop waiting for permission to level up. Because the world respects a person with standards. A person who leads themselves. A person who says, this is who I am. I've raised the bar, and I'm not lowering it again. And here's the reward. When you raise your standards, you raise your confidence. You begin to trust yourself again. You feel better about who you are and how you live. And that new energy, that certainty, that sense of self-respect, it attracts better things, better people, and better results into your life. Not because you got lucky, but because you changed what you stood for. So here's your challenge. Take inventory of your current standards. Ask yourself, what am I settling for that no longer matches the future I want? And then elevate it. Not someday, not next month. Right now, because the moment you raise your standards, your life begins to rise with them. Character is the currency of attraction. Let me give you something to think about. Success doesn't just respond to skill. It doesn't just show up for the smart, the talented, or the ambitious, long-term success. Real success responds to character. Because at the end of the day, your reputation is not built on what you know. It's built on how you live. Character is the real currency. It's the invisible force that attracts the visible rewards. People want to work with people they can trust. They want to follow leaders who are consistent. They want to be around people who live with honesty, integrity, and strength. Now, character isn't something you're born with. It's something you build, day by day. Decision by decision, discipline by discipline. It's how you show up when no one's watching. It's how you respond when things go wrong. It's whether you keep your word when it would be easier to break it. Let me tell you, success may come fast when it's based on charm, tricks, or shortcuts. But it won't last. Because what you attract without character, you'll eventually lose. Character is what keeps the door open after your talent got you inside. It's what allows opportunity to trust you with more. It's what makes people say, I can count on this person. I believe in this person. Without it, the foundation cracks. With it, you can build something great and make it last. So the question is, what kind of person are you becoming? Are you dependable? Are you disciplined? Do you do what you said you would do, long after the feeling you had when you said it is gone? That's character, not perfection. Just consistency, just honesty, just choosing the harder right over the easier wrong, when no one else would know the difference. You see, character builds self-respect, and self-respect is magnetic. When you respect yourself, others do too. When you carry yourself with strength and integrity, people feel it. You don't need to convince them. They can see it in how you move, how you speak, how you live. And here's the reward. The higher your character, the higher the quality of the people and opportunities you attract. Low character attracts chaos. High character attracts excellence. So if you're wondering why the right doors aren't opening, if you're wondering why the right people aren't showing up, maybe the question isn't, what am I missing? Maybe the real question is, who am I becoming? Because when your character rises, your life follows. You don't need to chase. You need to build. Build a name that means something. Build a standard that can't be shaken. Build a life that attracts what others have to chase. Because in the end, character always wins. It's not just the foundation of your success. It's the proof that you were ready to receive it. Energy is contagious, and so is mediocrity. Let me share something simple but powerful. Energy is contagious. When you walk into a room, your energy speaks before you do. It tells the truth. It tells people what kind of person you are. Not with words, but with presence. People feel your energy. They feel your confidence. They feel your urgency, your drive, your enthusiasm. Or they feel your doubt, your fear, your laziness. Because here's the truth. Energy doesn't lie. Now some people walk around wondering why doors won't open. They've got the skills. They've got the goals. But what they don't realize, they're carrying around the energy of someone who's already given up. You can't attract high-level opportunity with low-level energy. It doesn't work that way. Think about it. Would you follow someone who's uninspired? Would you trust someone who drags their feet, who complains, who has no passion? Neither would I. The people you want to connect with, they're looking for life. They're looking for fire. They're drawn to those who are alive with purpose and confidence. So here's the key. Don't just manage your time. Manage your energy, because your energy tells the world what to send back your way. And just like energy is contagious, so is mediocrity. Spend too much time with people who settle, and you'll start settling too. Hang around complainers, and pretty soon you'll find yourself making excuses. Surround yourself with people who make quitting look normal, and quitting starts to feel acceptable. It spreads, but the opposite is also true. Surround yourself with energy, and your spirit rises. Work around excellence, and your standards go up. Spend time with people who expect more from life, and you'll start expecting more from yourself. So here's the question. What kind of energy are you carrying? What kind of energy are you giving to your work, your health, your relationships? And who are you allowing to influence your emotional state? Protect your energy like your future depends on it. Because it does. Wake up with purpose. Speak with intention. Move with urgency. And wherever you go, bring something worth catching. Because in every room you enter, you are either an elevator or an anchor. You either raise the room or you drain it. There is no neutral, and that's what separates those who attract opportunity from those who repel it. If you want to stand out, don't just be talented, be energized, be engaged, be fully present. People don't just remember what you did, they remember how you made them feel. And if your energy says, this person is going somewhere, they'll want to go with you. So don't just work on your goals, work on your vibe, work on your spirit, work on how you show up. Because when your energy is right, you don't have to chase things, you attract them. You don't get what you deserve, you get what you earn. Let's set the record straight. Life does not give you what you deserve. Life gives you what you earn. Now I know that's a tough pill to swallow, because we've been told, if you're a good person, good things should happen. If you want it badly enough, the universe should respond. But let me tell you the truth. The marketplace doesn't pay you for being a good person. It pays you for bringing value. Effort is important, yes, but results pay the bills. Now don't get me wrong, you do deserve good things, but deserving is not enough. Deserving without action is just hope, with no plan. We've all met people who say, I work hard, I try my best, I'm a good person. Why am I still struggling? Here's why. Because effort is only one side of the coin. Discipline, growth, strategy, and execution. That's what turns effort into results. You can wish all day. You can dream all night. But if you don't show up, step up, and level up, nothing changes. You've got to put in the reps. You've got to sharpen your skill. You've got to stay consistent when it's boring. And you've got to keep showing up long after the motivation wears off. Life doesn't respond to emotional pleas. It responds to the work you've done. You don't get healthy because you deserve it. You get healthy because you trained for it. You don't build wealth because you're lucky. You build it because you studied, you risked, you learned, and you stayed disciplined. You earn trust. You earn respect. You earn freedom. And here's the key. You don't rise to the level of your hopes. You rise to the level of your standards, your skills, and your habits. So stop waiting for what you think you're owed. Start working for what you want to own. Because when you shift from deserve to earn, everything changes. You stop blaming and start building. You stop hoping and start creating. You stop watching and start doing. And that's when results start showing up. Not because you were lucky, but because you finally matched your actions to your ambitions. So here's the question. What do you say you deserve? And what are you actually earning? Be honest with yourself. The gap between the two. That's your growth zone. Fill it with discipline. Fill it with effort. Fill it with action. Because when you earn something, you don't have to beg for it. It comes to you. It belongs to you. And no one can take it from you. You want more out of life. Don't just think bigger. Do better. Earn it. The hidden work, building a life people want to be around. Let me tell you something. Most people never talk about. The life you live in public is built in private. The recognition, the relationships, the respect, those are just the results. What people see is the surface. What really matters is the hidden work. The hours no one sees. The sacrifices no one applauds. The early mornings. The late nights. The discipline it takes to keep going when no one's watching and no one's clapping. That's what builds a life worth being around. You see, people are drawn to stability, to consistency, to quiet strength. They're attracted to those who live with intention. People want to be near someone who is going somewhere, someone who knows who they are. But you can't fake that. You can't post your way into substance. You've got to become the real thing. That kind of presence, the kind that pulls people in, is built when you put in the hidden work. When you keep your promises to yourself. When you read when it's easier to scroll. When you choose discipline over distraction. When you say no to what's easy, so you can say yes to what matters. That's what gives you gravity. That's what gives you weight. That's what makes people stop and say, there's something different about this person. And here's what's powerful. You don't have to announce it. You don't have to promote it. You don't even have to talk about it. Because when you've done the work speaks for you. People feel it in your confidence. They hear it in your voice. They see it in the way you walk, the way you treat others, the way you carry yourself. That's how leaders are built. Not just by titles or talk, but by character and quiet consistency. Now, building this kind of life isn't always exciting. It's not glamorous, it's not quick, but it's real. And the results are lasting. So if you want to attract strong relationships, become strong. If you want to lead others, learn to lead yourself. If you want people to trust you, be trustworthy. Every day, especially when it's inconvenient. Because the world doesn't need more noise. It needs more substance. And substance comes from the work done behind the scenes. So here's the challenge. Build a life that others feel when they're around you. Not because you're loud, but because you're rooted. Not because you're impressive, but because you're real. A calm presence, a steady hand, a focused mind. That's rare, and people will notice. You don't have to chase attention when your life speaks for itself. Just keep doing the hidden work, and one day the results will become impossible to ignore. Associations follow identity. If you want to know where your life is headed, take a look at the people around you, because your associations don't just reflect your environment. They reinforce your identity. You don't attract who you want. You attract who you are, and that includes your relationships. Winners walk with winners. Thinkers walk with thinkers. People of discipline find each other, and those who live in chaos tend to attract more of the same. So if you're serious about growth, if you're serious about transformation, you've got to ask yourself, what kind of person am I becoming? Because the people you meet, the mentors you find, the opportunities you gain, they all come as a result of your identity. Not your potential, not your dreams, but who you actually are today. If you carry yourself like someone who's committed, consistent, and clear on their path, guess what? You'll start to connect with people who are the same. And the reverse is also true. If you carry doubt, laziness, confusion, or fear, you'll start to attract people who make that feel comfortable. Here's the principle. Your circle doesn't change until you do, because like attracts like. Now people ask me all the time, Jim, how do I find better people to connect with? And I tell them, don't focus on finding them. Focus on becoming someone they'd naturally want to be around. If you want to associate with sharp, driven, disciplined people, you've got to show up like someone who belongs in that room. Not by pretending, not by trying to impress, but by living with real standards. People are drawn to those who inspire, without saying a word, to those who live the values others only talk about. So here's a question to reflect on. Would you want to follow you? Would you want to be mentored by you? Would the people you admire feel alignment with your current level of discipline, focus, and integrity? If the answer is no, that's not shame. That's feedback. It's a sign that there's work to do, and that's a good thing, because now you know where to grow. Raise your identity, and your associations will rise with it. It might take time. It might feel lonely for a season, but better connections are waiting on the other side of a better you. Don't beg to be included. Build yourself until you can't be ignored. Because here's what happens when you shift your identity. Your conversations change, your standards change, and the people around you either grow with you or fall away. That's not arrogance. That's alignment. And in the long run, the people in your life should reflect your values, not your past. So if you want to find the right associations, don't start with networking. Start with becoming. Because identity attracts tribe, and your future will rise or fall with the people you allow around your purpose. What you attract today reflects who you've been becoming. Let me tell you something important about today. What you're experiencing right now, your results, your relationships, your opportunities, they aren't just random. They're not luck. They're not punishment or reward. They are the natural outcome of who you've been becoming. You see, life has a delay. You plant the seed today, but the harvest comes later. You build the habit now, but the benefit shows up months, sometimes years down the road. You make the sacrifice in silence, and eventually, it starts to echo in public. So whatever you're attracting today, it's not about what you did this morning. It's about the patterns you've repeated. It's about the choices you've made consistently. It's about the mindset you've carried day after day, even when no one was watching. If you're not happy with the results, don't panic. Just understand, the mirror is showing you the past, not who you are in this moment, but who you've been leading up to this moment. That's good news, because it means you can change the future by changing yourself now. A lot of people look at their current reality and think, well, I guess this is just who I am. But that's not true. Your current situation is not a definition. It's a reflection. And reflections can change when the source does. The body you're living in, it reflects your nutrition, your sleep, your movement over time. The money in your bank account, it reflects your financial habits over time. The strength of your relationships, that's a reflection of how you've been showing up emotionally and spiritually over time. So don't judge your potential by today's results. Judge it by the direction you're committed to going. Success is not built in one day, but it is built every day, in small, seemingly invisible ways. So if you're wondering, why haven't things changed yet? Take a step back and ask, have I truly changed yet? If not, that's your starting point. Shift your identity, upgrade your habits, raise your internal standards, and trust the process. The results will follow, always. That's the beauty of personal growth. You don't have to chase anything. You don't have to force anything. Just focus on becoming. And eventually, what you attract will start to match who you are. The rewards will catch up to the work. The outcomes will catch up to the effort. The life will catch up to the level you've been quietly building. So here's the challenge. If you want your life to look different next year, next month, even next week, start becoming that person today. Because life is always taking notes. It's watching your consistency. It's responding to your effort. And when you become the kind of person who earns more, contributes more, and expects more, you'll start to attract more. Not because you were lucky, but because you became ready. Become the person worth following. If you want to lead, if you want to influence, if you want to make an impact, you've got to become the kind of person worth following. Because people don't follow titles. They don't follow noise. They follow example. They follow character. They follow consistency. They follow people who live what they teach. And here's the truth. Every day, whether you realize it or not, you're influencing someone. Your kids are watching. Your coworkers are watching. Your friends, your family, your team, they're watching, not what you say, but how you live. The question is, what are you showing them? You see, anyone can talk a big game, but it's who you are when no one's looking that earns real respect. The late nights, the quiet discipline, the choices you make when there's no applause. That's what builds a life worth following. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be authentic. You need to be clear on your values and consistent in your behavior. That's how trust is built. That's how leadership grows. That's how influence lasts. If you want people to believe in you, they need to see you believe in yourself. If you want people to rise, they need to see you rising. If you want to inspire action, you have to be taking action. So here's the challenge. Don't just aim to lead, aim to become. Become the kind of person who earns loyalty. Become the kind of person whose word means something. Become the kind of person who doesn't cut corners or make excuses. Because when you become someone worth following, everything changes. Doors open. Opportunities multiply. The right people show up. Not because you chased them, but because you became magnetic. It's not about being loud. It's about being solid. It's not about popularity. It's about principles. It's not about being followed. It's about being someone who leads themselves with excellence, with vision, and with integrity. People are starving for real examples. In a world full of noise, they're looking for someone real. Someone who walks with purpose. Someone who means what they say and lives what they believe. So don't wait for permission. Don't wait for a title. Start building that person now. Because when you become someone worth following, the right people will find you. The right doors will open. And your influence will grow. Not because you demanded it, but because you earned it. Shift the focus from wanting to becoming. So here we are. We've come full circle. You started this journey wanting more results, more progress, more success, and that desire is powerful. It's the spark. But let me remind you of the truth behind it all. You don't attract what you want. You attract what you are. That's the real message. That's the principle that separates wishing from winning. Most people spend their whole lives chasing wealth, chasing love, chasing status. But chasing only works when you've become someone worth catching it. Because the world doesn't respond to want. It responds to identity. It responds to your character, to your discipline, to your energy, your standards, and your consistency. You don't rise to the level of your desires. You rise to the level of your habits. You rise to the level of your mindset. You rise to the level of the person you've been quietly becoming, day by day. So the final challenge is this. Stop waiting for the life you want. Start becoming the person who naturally attracts it. Don't say, I want more peace. Say, I will become the kind of person who lives with calm focus and gratitude. Don't say, I want more money. Say, I will become more valuable, more skillful, more disciplined with what I have. Don't say, I want better people around me. Say, I will raise my own standard and attract others who live the same way. The shift is simple, but it changes everything. Stop asking, how can I get more? Start asking, who must I become? Because when you grow, your world grows. When you get better, your results get better. When you raise your identity, your income, your influence, your impact, all begin to rise with it. So from this moment forward, make a decision. Stop chasing. Start building. Stop hoping. Start earning. Stop waiting. Start becoming. Because everything you want is already waiting. Waiting on one thing. The next version of you. That's who attracts the life you've been dreaming about. Not someday, but as soon as you become ready to receive it.